seen several protests lately after the deaths of two unarmed black men at the hands of white police officers. Walkouts like these ones from several area high schools around the metro area, and die-ins, leading Denver's mayor to host a panel discussion on racism. Lance Hernandez was there for that discussion. Lance?
Well, the mayor told me that he's following up on the angst generated by what happened in Ferguson, Missouri, New York City, and Cleveland, where three unarmed African Americans were shot and killed by police. One of them, not even a teenager. The mayor acknowledged there is mistrust between law enforcement and people of color.
All residents deserve a right to feel safe in this city.
Denver Mayor Michael Hancock asked panel members why the chant "Hands up, don't shoot" has become a movement. Lisa Calderon says it's because of policing policies, specifically broken windows policing.
I pleaded with city leaders to not unleash broken windows policing on our communities.
Broken Windows is aggressively responding to even the smallest infraction.
What we're seeing now 10 years later is the fruits of that inappropriate and not well thought out policy.
Calderon says people are fed up with mistreatment and with being brutalized. The mayor also asked what role personal accountability plays in race relations.
I refuse to have a conversation about personal accountability without having a conversation about systemic accountability. Because when you look at American society, these are things that are ingrained in our system. Over 200 years of slavery, the colonization and forcible removal of Native Americans from their land. These things are in our system. They are who we are as a country.
One of the students on the panel says there's a lack of trust between law enforcement and youth.
I think it's very important that in school that we can build these relationships and not just see law enforcement to correct our behavior or to educate us, but to also come into our school to support us, and so we can learn from them and use them as role models in our life.
The mayor also asked about news coverage of race relations, and he noted that leading up to the decision in Ferguson, Missouri, much of the coverage focused on shop owners boarding up their businesses. Here in Denver, one of the audience members noted that during the coverage of the student protest, much of the coverage was negative, focusing on students walking out of school, blocking the streets, and talking to students who really didn't know why they were out there and weren't able to articulate that, as opposed to the student leaders who organized the protest. In downtown Denver, Lance Hernandez, 7 News.
Hands up, don't shoot, we can't breathe.
Protesters locked out of the Capitol this morning. Our partners at the Denver Post reporting the group wanted to go in and deliver a letter to the governor. Our cameras found them on the steps of the Capitol, where they eventually held what's called a die-in. Lieutenant Governor Joe Garcia and Senator Lucia Guzman met with the group outside the building, even posing for pictures with some of them.